No. This is This is science. Hello, my little Corona hibernators. We are doing something completely different today. I know a lot of you are stuck at home, self-quarantining. Maybe your jobs have made you work from home, whatever the case may be. I know there's a lot of bored people out there. But we are partaking in one of our favorite things today, and I thought I'd bring you guys along because it's different. Yes, this is not paranormal, this is not ghost related. However, we do call this our witch's brew, and I'll tell you why in a second. And I figured we'd do a little S-Box session to see if we pick anything up paranormal while this is going down. Just kidding, we're not doing that. This disgusting looking, vile science project we have going in these jars right over here is kombucha. Now, a lot of people will look at this and say, why the fuck would I want to drink that? Well, for exactly the reason of what's going on in the world right now. There are things that you can do at home that you don't have to rely on stores for. I'm not talking about wiping your ass with pine cones. I'm talking about little things that you can do at home to improve your health, your gut health, your immune system. This stuff literally multiplies itself. When you first start out, you will be scrambling to find one SCOBY or mother, and probably by month 3 they will be coming out of your ears and you won't know what to do with them all. So we are going to go in today very quickly how we make this, which is brew, what we call it. There's a little trial and error in the beginning with anything new that you try, but there's really no reason why you can't do this on your own. This is science. This is a very complicated process that happens that humans, if they can learn to stay out of the way, produces something fantastic. If you don't know what kombucha is, I suggest that you Google it, find out, get some good books. I'll show you one in a second. You can buy it at the store. They have it for sale, of course. There's a lot of good brands out there. However, if you are already a consumer of kombucha, you know that it is expensive to purchase in the store. It is very, very easy to brew it at home. So today I figured we could show you the process of how we do it and how easy it can be. There's a lot of good YouTube videos, there's a lot of good tutorials online. However, when we first started out, it can be really overwhelming. You literally just make some super sweet tea, throw this big snot-like organism right into your pot, let it sit for a week or two, and you're done. First thing you're going to need is the sweet tea itself. It's a very strong, very, very, very sweet tea in your initial brewing process. There are many different types of tea out there. Just remember, whatever you're putting into this is what's going to come back out. So it's very important to use high quality ingredients. You don't have to, but whatever's going in is going to come out. For example, for your tea, normally we use a mix of organic teas that comes pre-made for us because we're lazy. You can certainly make your own tea mix, but again, we're keeping this simple today. We are having problems at the moment getting anything delivered here, as many people are. So we've been reduced at the moment to just using commercial bought organic black tea in a bag. Okay guys, so we got our water boiled here. Our tea has gone in and has steeped. We are making 7 gallons of kombucha at the moment. So it's 4 cups of water in here with 2 tablespoons of loose tea or 4 to 6 tea bags per gallon. So there's about 46 to 50 tea bags here. There is enough sweet tea made in here for the 7 gallons. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. Now this is the part that everybody freaks out about, but you need to understand that the SCOBY, the mother, the bacteria that is in her, she eats the sugar. So people with diabetes and other health ailments that can't have a lot of sugar, by the time this is done fermenting, there's hardly any, if not, there's no sugar left. It's sort of like brewing beer and things like that. So a lot of sugar goes in, but what you are left with is a very tart sort of a drink. It's not sweet at all. So the bacteria is going to eat all the sugar. So don't freak out on this part. But to this, we are adding a whole cup of sugar per your 4 cups of water that went in here. So I need to put 7 cups of sugar in this pot right now. Again, I can hear the entire internet gasping right now. This sugar will not be left in there. Speaking of sugar, let's talk about sugar. What I'm using is actually organic cane sugar. Again, what you put in, you're going to get out. You can use white sugar, but that's been processed, it's been bleached, all sorts of things have been done to it. So we use organic cane sugar so that we just don't have all of the extra nonsense in there. You can use regular black tea, regular white sugar, and have the same result essentially, but if you want to make a healthy drink, why not go all the way, right? So if it's not slack your mama sweet, then it's not going to work. You have to be able to feed the bacteria and the organisms in order for this to work. So that's why it's got to be so sweet. Again, it's not going to be all that sugar we just put in there. It's going to be eaten up by the yeast, and it's going to give us the beneficial bacteria, microorganisms, everything that is good about kombucha has to start from sugar and your bacteria. So that while the tea is cooling, this is the bottling process. So I've inserted some clips. So this is the finished product, round 1. This is after 2 weeks of sitting there and us doing nothing. Basically the world has started to fall apart in the time it took to make this. And hopefully by the time this batch is ready, the world will be put back together again. These are all of our SCOBYs / mothers. Now with these guys, you never want to put them in anything but glass or stainless steel because anything that this touches, this slime ball, beautiful slime ball right here, it will absorb. So that is the whole point of taking care to make sure you use good ingredients and things like that, because it's so good at absorbing and just making goodness for your body that you want to make sure. So this is a stainless steel ladle that we're using. This is glass, but these are the SCOBYs. This came out of this jar. So we piled them all together in one big hot tub. After you take your SCOBY out of here, this is a 1 gallon jar. Took it out, put it in here. You take a cup of starter. When people talk about starter, that is the finished product, round 1, this right here, and put it in with this guy. This guy is now going to go into the clean jars with that cup of starter and the sweet tea to make the next batch. So it's very important that you keep her in the starter fluid. Make sure your hands are clean. Wash your hands, kids. I shouldn't have to tell you this by now. Do not use antibacterial soap. This is just one big bacteria, so you don't want to kill her. Make sure your hands are clean again. Put her in here with a cup of the fluid that she came out of. There's a couple different jars in here, that's why it's so full. Then we take this and we funnel it into our jars that we have filled here. Due to the magic of TV, this part's already been done for you. You're welcome. These have been filled with a myriad of different flavors. We've got one of our favorites, lavender. Don't be afraid to use lavender. It sounds disgusting. Not only is it amazingly good for you, it's very tasty, especially in kombucha. We also have organic jasmine. This is actually tea, so you can flavor it. You can get really creative. This is one of the flavors we like. This is just jasmine tea, hand-rolled little balls that go in there. Elderberry. Elderberry is a big one, especially right now with all of the germs and nasty going on. You want to be filling these things with things that are going to be good for your body. So. Lots of fruits, ginger, good for anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, superfood. These are all packed full of ingredients that are going to just be super good for your health, super good for your gut, super good for your immune system. There is no reason why you guys can't be doing this at home. Seriously, you throw it in the jar and you leave it alone. The worst part, honestly, is having to chop all this crap up and put it into a bottle. That's what takes the longest. That and being patient and waiting the 2 weeks it takes. If you have questions, leave me a comment below or shoot me an email at AbandonedReclamation@gmail.com, and we will do our best to answer your emails. If you have any questions about the process, what to use, how much to use, all of that, I can answer them for you there. But this video will go on for hours if I get into all the details. Now, we bottled this a second time. So we took it from the jar, put it into a bottle, flavors. Now what's going to happen the second time is the bacteria, mainly the yeast that has come from the bacteria that ate the sugar, is going to start to eat the sugars in this fruit, and that is going to create, say it with me, carbonation. Now carbonation is what gets people like me that's hooked on soda off of the soda and onto the good stuff, because not only does it have flavor, but it also has bubbles. I have a hard time drinking anything without bubbles because I am a spoiled brat. However, the second fermentation process is where you're going to get your flavor and your bubbles. This right here is ready to drink now. I can drink it now. My girlfriend cannot. She says it tastes like vinegar and pee. I, however, love the taste of it. It just tastes like unflavored kombucha. If you've ever had I think KT's or GTS makes a unflavored kombucha. It does taste a bit vinegary, but I like that. You may not. In any case, this is what puts your flavor and your bubbles in. So we put it in these jars with our fruit, we cap them up, we leave them for 3 to 4 days tops out of the fridge before we put them in the fridge. And the reason for that is because it takes not heat, but it takes a warm environment to get all those sugars and all those yeast and all those bubbles going. So that takes 3 to 4 days. If you leave them longer than that, without a cool environment like your refrigerator, you will have explosions, and those are not fun. So you need to really be careful about what bottle you choose and how long you leave their second ferment, because you do not want these bad boys exploding. Because of that reason, we have a cooler here that we put our bottles in, and I'll give you an end shot of that. That's Miss Tessie, she's walking away. There's J-Lo, Jenny from the block, Jumpin' Bean. Okay guys, quick note, as you're filling these bottles, you need to leave a 1-inch headspace between your liquid and your top, and in here, in the 1-inch headspace is where the magic's going to happen. That's where the pressure is going to build up, and it's going to infuse the carbon dioxide from the yeast eating the sugar into your brew, making it bubbly and delicious. But you do not want to fill it all the way to the top because you'll have a flat brew, and you don't want to leave any more than 1 inch because that's just going to generate a lot of pressure. So right about 1 inch is your sweet spot. That's what it looks like on that bottle. That's what it looks like on this bottle. And then this is what it looks like, clear that up, on this bottle. So you can see the fruit and stuff floats. This is where it ends. This is where the magic happens. This one's probably going to be a problem, but we're going to wait and see. Also in the kitchen today, we have J-Lo, Jenny from the block, Jumpin' Bean in the house again, doing her thing, helping us with the booch. And there's Miss Tessie, creeping around the corner again. That is J-Lo, Jenny from the block's dog. She is down visiting with her as well. So anyway, back to the bottles. You can absolutely buy your bottles. This is blurred out on purpose because I am not endorsed by this company, nor am I allowed probably to say their name. However, I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. The kombucha that you buy at the stores in these bottles are made specifically to store booch that has a hard time exploding out of them. So it's a really good idea if you love this stuff already and you're drinking it and buying it already to go ahead and save these bottles for your second ferment. The glass is thicker and the caps are made to withstand quite a bit of pressure. So you cannot just use any old bottle that you find. You have to find bottles that are reinforced. These we just got off of Amazon. They are beer/kombucha bottling bottles. Let me clear that up for you. If I'm going a bit fast, again, reach out to me, ask me questions. We will answer them for you. These are flip top bottles. As you can see, they've got little removable rubber little nipple things here. I just said nipple. So these go in, oh, there's Dixon. He just thought he would give us a little bit of input there, I guess. Okay, so these fit on top like this. This seal prevents anything from coming out, and they flip down and lock. So that right there is a finished bottle. This looks like strawberry elderberry. Let's see if I can. So this is strawberry elderberry. Now this is going to sit, like I said, for 3 to 4 days, no longer than that before we put them in the fridge, or else this bottle will explode. Thankfully, we have not had any explosions in the 1.5 years we've been doing our own booch. However, it does happen, so do not get lax on that, especially if you're in a warm environment like we are here in Florida. What you can do when you put your tops on is, if you're worried about it, or you should probably practice this anyway until you get better, is come around every day and burp your bottles, meaning unscrew them just a little bit. You'll hear a hiss, sort of like you're opening a soda bottle, and that's releasing the pressure, and then tighten it back down real quick. So that's the rundown on that. If you are using things that don't have a lot of sugar, like the lavender that's here, if you just do lavender or something else, what we do is we have organic bee pollen, and what this is basically exactly what it says. It is the pollen from bees. It is a superfood. It is very good for women to help them with their monthly cycles and the ease of that. It's sweet. It tastes like honey. The kombucha loves it. Again, you need to be super careful about what you put in your bottles so that you don't have explosions. So I'm not going to put something sweet like the organic bee pollen in with something like strawberry, because we will have a strawberry volcano in our hands very shortly.
I want to make sure she got your pretty dishes. Your pretty.
I got them.
Hi on the side.
Okay. This is Jenny. She keeps talking. Wave, Jenny. Love you. We're going to leave that in there too. Okay, so bottles just got finished, and I will show you that in a second. There's Dixon laying in the corner. But I wanted to talk about real quick, when you finish emptying these bad boys right here, when you take this and you fill your bottles and you have an empty jar, what do you do with it? You don't wash it. I know, another gasp from the internet. Let me tell you why. There is tons of good bacteria in there that you don't want to get rid of. People that have fish tanks, you may understand that you don't want to do a certain amount of water in your water changes because you don't want to get rid of the good bacteria that's in there. You will disrupt the whole system. Okay, so it's similar to a fish tank, but you're not going to put your fish in here, obviously. So what you do when you empty it is you take your glass jar, you are going to rinse it out with cool water, put your hand in there, swish it around if your hands are clean, but do not use soap. If you use antibacterial soap, it will kill your entire brew. If you leave any soap residue in here, the SCOBY and the kombucha will absorb that, and then you will be drinking soap booch, and that is not recommended. So just rinse your jars out. I know it's hard to believe, but no soap, rinse it, fill it back up. This is a gallon jar again. So this is 4 cups of cold water. Cold because you're going to be putting your hot tea in there. We do not want to boil our SCOBY. So the water that you use, if you're on city water and you've got all that nasty fluoride and chlorine and all that garbage in your water, you're going to have to go out and buy yourself some water that doesn't have that stuff in it. We don't have that problem here. We are on a well. We have mermaid water, so we do not have to worry about that. It's magical. Unicorns come out of it. We're very lucky. In this gallon jar goes 8 cups of fresh, clean water. 8 cups. 4 cups of tea, and then your starter SCOBY, and then your SCOBY and your 1 cup of starter. And I will show you that process in a second. Okay, so at this stage, after you've seen us do all this freaking work, you're probably like, nah, I don't want to do that. But guess what? Yes, you do. Good question. Next question is, where do I start? Well, you can go on your local Facebook groups and ask if anybody's got a SCOBY. I'm telling you, once you start brewing, you will have to start what's called a SCOBY motel. In the SCOBY motel, beautifully decorated by my girlfriend, is a large layer of SCOBYs, or the mother. I forget what SCOBY stands for. Look it up. I don't have time. Symbiotic culture, anyway. This is what's called the mother. This is where all the magic happens. So this is where all the extras go, because every time you make a brew, you have the one you put in there, and then it makes a new one on top. So you're gonna have extra. But they have these cool little kits online. All you have to do is go on Amazon or Google and look them up. In these things, you get your gallon jar, of course. In this is everything you need to get started with your first brew. This is your tea bag. Tea bag! Also in here is your organic black tea.
Tea bag.
Tea bag. This goes in your tea bag. This is your organic black tea to get started. You also get a top, which we will go over that in a second. You get your organic cane sugar, exactly what you need to get started. You get a Sharpie and a nose picker. You get your hand stuck if you're fat like me. You get a temperature gauge. This is important, I'll go over that in a second. And pH test strips, which are fun, but that will be in a later video, which is complicated. More importantly, you get your mother shipped right to you in a little container. It's got your starter liquid in there already. You can see her floating around in there all happy and ready to go, ready to make your kombucha. If you guys are looking for one, I can certainly mail you one. Of course, you're gonna have to pay the shipping fees because I'm just starting out on YouTube and I don't have a lot of money like all these other peeps do. So get with me in the comments or email me again at AbandonedReclamation@gmail.com. Hook up with me and we will certainly get you one of these glorious, beautiful, this is only one out of, geez, I don't even know how many we have. We have a ton.
Tea bag.
So yes, anybody can, I mean, it's very simple to get started. This is a lot of information packed into one thing. Nothing to worry about. You can get your kit if you want. I don't sell these. I don't work for this company. I'm just saying it's an option. Get with me. We can walk you through the process. We can get you some mothers, some scobies if you'd like. They're going to go in here for 3 to 4 days. The reason why we use this is because if we do have an explosion, we want it contained. So you can put it in a box or a cooler of your own for the 3 to 4 day process that it takes to ferment the second time in the bottles. And then after that, they have to go in the fridge. The fridge slows down the ferment process even more and allows you to store them without them exploding on you. Again, it's very important to keep them in something, if you're new at this especially, that if the explosion does happen, it will contain it. You're not going to have booch and glass everywhere. Okay guys, so now here they sit. They're going to sit here for 2 weeks out of direct sun. Do their thing. They're going to bubble, they're going to float, they're going to try and climb out of the jar. They're going to do all sorts of weird stuff. They are living organisms, so you do have to talk nicely to them. They do like to be together. Yes, we have a slight kombucha problem. I'm telling you, once you get started, you're going to be hooked, and you're not going to want to be without it. We've got one here in a used bottle. This is, you can't even see that. This is our own brew, and I'm going to show you. Hear that? That's the goodness. That's the magic! That's also something you have to watch out for. I'm glad that happened. So, like I said, this has been stored in the fridge, but the fermentation process doesn't stop. So those are all the bubbles and the carbonation that you want to look for. So when you go to open your first bottle, you have to be very careful that you don't have an explosion such like we just had. Take that, put your little strainer there. Making a mess, that's okay. This is just for TV purposes. Strain it out because this one does look like elderberry and strawberry, so we don't want to necessarily have those things in our mouth. That's what she said. Oh yeah, this is smooth. And this is what we're left with. So this is a finished product. There we go. Carbonated deliciousness. This is kombucha, elderberry, strawberry. Get on the booch train. You will not regret it. It's delicious and it's good for you. Also, when you do it right, guys, and you have a happy brew, when you pour out your bottle of your finished product, you actually will have a mini SCOBY growing in your bottle. So the process never stops. It's amazing. It's a really beautiful thing. So this is a SCOBY that's got lavender and elderberry stuck in it. This is unusable as a starter culture to start a whole new bottle because it's got junk floating in it, stuck to it. But that just goes to show you how alive this food is. Even in the bottle, even in the fridge, it made another SCOBY, another mother organism in the bottle itself. So that is pretty freaking cool. If you have any questions, let us know. We will certainly be around to help you. This can be a very complicated process, but it's really not. So don't let all of this jargon deter you from making something at home that is super good for you. It is definitely superfood. More importantly, it's alive, and your body really needs stuff that's alive right now with everything that's going on. So, Rochelle with Abandoned Reclamation, and we will see you next time. Wash your damn hands.
Just be yourself and talk.
Be yourself. Alright, you jerks, listen up. We are doing something different today. I don't like that. Shut your mouth! Oh crap, I'm filming. I don't yell at dogs, I love them. Oh Jesus, Lord Almighty.
Cheers. And so. That one is good.
Is it good?
Yeah.